going on, everybody? Welcome to the third to last NBA Slate starter for the season. I'm Eric, joined with my buddy Ryan as we break down the Wednesday NBA DFS slate on Draftkings and FanDuel. I don't really even know what to say about this slate today. It was so bad for me. Luka Doncic, he thinks it's July, I think. He's just not even playing basketball at the moment. Played some guys. I felt good about some of the pivots that I made. I got on Justin Holiday when he was announced starting, and you got Aaron Holiday ruled out, and had a couple of things go well. But my God, if Steph Curry doesn't pick it up here at the end of the second quarter, I'm probably drawing dead. Rayen Patnaik, how's it going for you, buddy?
Yeah, I was super disappointed by the 76ers second half performance. They came out guns blazing in that first half. They were all on their way to almost all like the starters getting to value and then some, and they all just like kind of just were value. No, they weren't like must needs, which I thought you were going to need at least a couple of those guys with no Embiid in a great matchup. Their Vegas total is still at 119. They finished at 94 points. So really disappointing Sixers performance. I was really high on them. And yes, Steph Curry is playing like meth Curry. So go figure.
What? Oh, it's so good. I had a ton of Philly too. Got a late value, showed up there. Dwight Howard didn't get in the starting lineup, and I didn't panic or anything. I texted you, actually. I got your counsel. I felt good about being overweight on Dwight Howard still because I thought he was going to play a bunch of minutes. Certainly just killed me. But that's NBA DFS, and that's why we move on from today and we go to the next. So if you would like to go to the next here, if you want us to finish out this week strong here, get down to that bottom bar, show us a little bit of love with that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification bell. So you know when this and all the other content at Awesemo is going live, we're going straight through the playoffs with everything else here. The Slate starter's done in the regular season, but the Slate starter doesn't ever die. We are still in your hearts throughout the entire Awesemo channel. I think that's what I'm going for. I don't know. It's an analogy. It's like in Tarzan or something. You'll be in my heart, Phil Collins. Check it out. Speaking of, monkeyknifefight.com. That's kind of a segue. It's the jungle. It's kind of, I don't know. It's monkeys. But I love monkeyknifefight.com. Head on over there. Check out all their prop-based games for NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, NHL, whatever you fancy. There is an edge to be had if you're using the Awesemo Plus Platinum package, checking out the projections, checking out all the goodies that we have on the site, and using it to go towards all their prop-based games. They have multipliers depending on how much you're trying to go out and win. A really, really fun game type over there. So stop guessing, start winning at Awesemo, but head on over to monkeyknifefight.com and use the promo code Awesemo to get $100 off your first deposit bonus. Rayen Patnaik, you ready to get going, my dude?
Let's ride.
Well, it's a Russell Westbrook slate, and unlike other Westbrook slates, I have some good news. He's $12,400 over on Draftkings. Got time. I mean, can we just clap for them for a second? Like, they did a good
it's still
thing.
too cheap. It's still too cheap.
I mean, are you happy though that it's not $11K when you opened it?
Yeah, I'm happy, but it's still too cheap.
Baby steps.
He should have been above 13K. I mean, look, this has been a historic tear that he's been on himself. So, yeah, it's good on them they raised it up. So I think now at least we got to think about it. So, which is nice.
That's all I asked for. I mean, I'll take a 40% Russell Westbrook with game theory, and we can figure out where it needs to go there, depending on what else is available. Guess who else is available on the top end of point guard? My absolute nemesis right now, Luka Doncic, who just, I don't know what's going on, but he gets New Orleans. He gets this fast-paced matchup. He gets this bad defense. Luka, what are you doing, dude? Start playing some basketball. You're killing me. I'm going to pull up some of the incentives that some of these teams have. Obviously, we know Washington and Atlanta are both trying to win. Dallas, I believe, was the 5 seed coming into today. Looking at the remaining schedule, I'll pull that up as we're talking, going down the line too. But a really big matchup for both teams. Portland at Utah, Damian Lillard, 9,600 on the top end. There's a lot of pieces that are going to be out tomorrow. And then we'll throw Trae Young into the mix. I know he's going to be very interesting on FanDuel, but even on DraftKings, 9,100, good stuff. Talk to me about the top end of point guard.
Yeah, so top end of point guard. I know you went in a little Luka rant. I can second that. I was disappointing today. So, yeah, but I'd be willing to go right back to him. He's going to be a great pivot off of Russ. No issues there. Other guys priced up. LeBron James should be returning against the Houston team. I think he'll be limited against Houston. I mean, he should be just fine, but not really in play in terms of fantasy-wise. Dame Lillard versus Utah 9,600. It's okay. I think I'd rather go cheaper to a guy like Kyrie. I believe KD is going to be questionable tomorrow on a back-to-back. Kyrie did leave the game due to a face injury. Steve Nash just had a quote. They don't know if he has a concussion or something, but keep an eye with that Brooklyn situation. There's going to be a lot of value that opens up there. With they already ruled Kevin Durant questionable for tomorrow, so I like Trae Young 9,100 against Russ and the Wizards tomorrow. No issues there. And Colin Sexton's continue to check the basketball at $8,400. So that's a Colin Sexton for you in a nutshell. But in terms of value options on DraftKings, in terms of spend down options, I don't know what the Kemba Walker deal is tomorrow, but on a back-to-back, guys like Marcus Smart, Patty Mills was great in 23 minutes against Milwaukee, and now a matchup versus Brooklyn. Bogdanovic has point guard eligibility. Don't mind that. And Lonnie Walker, 4,500. I think he's pretty solid, but no one really under 4K that really stands out over there on DraftKings. But over there on FanDuel, up top, Russ, 12-6. Yeah, definitely going to be a decision point to make. Brooklyn for Kyrie, 10-3. If there's no Kevin Durant, love going to Kyrie Irving at 10-3. Luka Doncic, 10-4. I know he has been disappointing. If you just look at that box score, he has not gone north of 50 points since May 1st. So it's been it's been quite some time since Luka has balled out. So take with that. Go make your decision based on Luka. I love the matchup for him. So no issues there. DeJounte Murray in a Brooklyn matchup. San Antonio just trying to clinch that play-in game. So no issues there. But spending down, Raul Neto, 4,800. Yeah, Weird roster 2-point guards, definitely solid. And Trae Young, $8,500, still too cheap. Alonzo Ball and Ish Smith are some other guys who I think are pretty solid value spend down options. And I want to hear your take on Damien Dotson. Could we go to him again? Obviously, was very, very, very disappointing last time out.
I didn't play Damien Dotson last time, so I actually had to just plug him in. I know that he's back in there playing 25-ish minutes, but I think you can do better than Damien Dotson. I know Cleveland has nothing to play for. Darius Garland's already out, but Colin Sexton's there. I think Colin Sexton's really the priority. He's still playing mid-30s minutes. He's enjoying his little last bit of run, D'Angelo Russell style here before the summer starts up. So I think I'll probably be with him and then nobody else there. I really have no Damien Dotson take or interest at this point in time, unless it's like a tournament pivot where you need 3,500 on FanDuel to make him work. What is he over on DK? He is at shooting guard there, shooting guard small forward, 3,400. So we can talk about him there, but really no desire to be playing him either way. Last guy at point guard, as I'm kind of like looking down on this bottom end, and this just comes down to looking at how these minutes are going to be breaking down for some of these teams that need things to work. But it sounds like James Harden is possibly going to be playing tomorrow. So 10,600. So just be on the lookout here. It's saying that he's going to be out, but he could be back for tomorrow. So be on the lookout for James Harden. What would be your James Harden interest first game back if you got no Kyrie and maybe KD sitting?
I think with the James Harden injury situation, I don't think he's really in play. I think he's going to be pretty limited unless we get full systems go. James Harden. Ooh. That's going to be something, but I doubt it. I really doubt he's going to be full systems go.
Me too. A hamstring injury, especially, it's a lower body injury. You got to think that they're going to play him, 20 minutes and just see how you're looking out there. But he's James Harden, and I'm looking forward to that. But pulled up the remaining schedules here too. Want to let it be known that Portland has the hardest remaining schedule out of their 3 games left. Jazz, Suns, Nuggets. San Antonio second. 2 games against the Suns, Nets, and Knicks. So yeah, this Spurs game, they need to keep winning here too to stay out of that, stay out of the basement. I think if they win 1 or 2, I think it's if they win 1 more, they're locked into the 10 seed. But I'm not positive about that. But that's why you're going to check out the deeper dive tomorrow, because I think some of this incentive stuff is really, really important once we get closer to it here. You would have thought that Luka Doncic would show up today, but he didn't. So maybe tomorrow's the day. You ready to jump over to shooting guard?
Let's do it.
All right, top end over there. DeMar DeRozan's your most expensive available guy right now, 7,900. I guess James Harden's 9,200 over on FanDuel, so throw him into the pile as well. CJ McCollum, 7,700. I just pulled up their schedule. I said that they only have 3 games left: Jazz, Suns, and Nuggets. It's a very, very tough finish. So this Utah game though, going up against Utah, CJ McCollum could definitely play those elevated minutes. We've seen 32 and 35 the last two. That Lakers game, 38. I think it's more indicative of a game like that where you could see 38 to 40 minutes in a close game for him and Lillard. Really like that price tag on him. And then Jordan Clarkson, 7,600, who finally paid off again. 35 minutes up against Golden State. Portland going to be an up-tempo game again. 7,600. What is your Jordan Clarkson interest? And talk about the rest of the position.
Yeah, I really like the game. I think it's a very solid fantasy environment in Sexton, McCollum up top. I mean, 7,600, 7,700 for Clarkson and McCollum respectively. DeRozan's obviously a solid matchup for him against Brooklyn. We know who he is. He's pretty consistent with his fantasy production. No issues there. Marcus Smart, a matchup versus Cleveland, 5,800. I like taking some chances there. And also, I forgot to talk about Colin Sexton here, but yeah, similar to what I said in DraftKings, solid price tag. We know this guy is going to be selfish on the court. Took 26 shot attempts. That could definitely happen again. So no issues going to that. Spending down. Let's hear what Alexander Walker's minutes limit looks like tomorrow. He went from 21 to 24. So he is, if he's going to go up to 27, I don't mind to kill Alexander Walker at $6,500. Matchup versus Dallas. We'll see, but I do think the super ceiling upside, he needs a no cap minutes limit. So maybe we get some news with that situation. Hopping over there on terms of DraftKings, up top in the shooting guard spot, obviously Kyrie Irving, $9,200, Clarkson, 75, McCollum, Magdanovic, other guys in the shooting guard spot, all stand out with their great matchups, and obviously have super ceiling upsides. Can definitely pay that off. Evan Fournier was very, very good today, as he went for 44 and a half fantasy points, obviously, where you get the 3-point bonus. Definitely someone you can consider. I think if you want to pivot down to Neto, because he's going to continue to get the minutes. Played 30 minutes, was not great fantasy wise, but definitely those minutes are pretty solid. Najee Marshall, also 4,800, found his way to 30 plus minutes. Rebounds are up to 11. I don't think that's sustainable. So I'd be willing to be a little under the field with Najee Marshall tomorrow in matchup versus Dallas. So keep that in mind. And we just got news. Alex Caruso is not going to be returning to the game. So that might change things up in the point guard position. Maybe LeBron tomorrow. We might get some more backcourt minutes for guys like Horton Tucker or Macklemore. So keep that in mind for that shooting guard spot. And what's your opinion on Isaac Akkoro? Is he finally too expensive for us?
Nope. You play Isaac Akkoro. And I know that sounds ridiculous because we've seen him perform at such a low fantasy point per minute production rate for the entire year. Played 42 minutes, put up 42 fantasy points. That's basically a 1-for-1. You're looking at 1 fantasy point per minute over on FanDuel there. 5,200 for him there. I have no problem going back to him there, and here's why. So you're removing basically everybody that matters on this entire team. Cedi Osman is going to be out more than likely. He's questionable coming into tomorrow, but I'd be surprised in a game that they didn't need if they pushed him. Kevin Love will play. He'll be back in the mix. He'll play his high 20s minutes, like mid-20s minutes, 26, 27 minutes or so. Kamal Galay, they've been giving some run to. We've talked about him a little bit, probably too much, but still sitting at 3,200 down there. But 4,900 over on DraftKings still. I think that there's room for it. He's a rookie, and it's a guy that they have draft capital in, that they want to kind of give some extended run to and extended looks to. Same thing that exists with Broderick Thomas there at 3,300. He played 34 minutes in a 9-point loss to Indiana. I got to expect for both of these guys, with Garland out, with Dellavedova out, with Windler out, And then now you're taking Larry Nance, possibly Chetty Osman. There's a lot of like minutes at the 2 and 3 that can get filled by Isaac Okoro. So I expect him to be somebody that I play. Dotson, yeah, you can play a little bit here too. But it really comes down to like Okoro and Sexton for me. And I know it sounds very counterintuitive, but it's a different situation for him completely. And putting Kevin Love out there, I guess my expectations are tempered. I'm not going to expect 45 out of him by any means, but I think on a 6-game slate, depending on what the other value is, I would take some shots on him. If he's crazy popular, don't play him. And if he's just regular popular, if he's like 15-20%, I would have no issue. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's kind of going to be an ownership call. Obviously, a lot of news is going to break. We get potential some Brooklyn news, so it's going to change up that ownership and the value there. But given that price, I like just taking the chances on the cheaper guys, cheaper price guys. I'm not that interested in Isaac Okoro at that price tag. That's just how I kind of feel. But I know he's been playing a lot more minutes. I just think he's going to have to be pretty efficient again. He hasn't shown that a track record. I'd rather take my chances on guys like Lonnie Walker, maybe even Horton Tucker, based on this Caruso news that we got pending now.
Got it. And yeah, then you've got Kyrie Thomas on that top end too. Daquan Jeffries, Danwell House, both questionable. Yeah, Augustine and Brooks can both fill minutes at the 2 if need be, but he looks like the only shooting guard that could be available for Houston tomorrow. Whoop-de-doo, we're back to Houston. Love playing them so much against the Lakers in a late-night hammer when that's the last lock time by an hour. Oh boy, yeah, Houston. Maybe we'll be waiting on, we'll definitely be waiting on Wood again. I think Kelly Olynyk is for sure going to play, but he has no injury designation. Let's move it along. To small forward we go. Top end on DraftKings. Doncic, you can play him there. It's kind of the preferred place to play him for the most part. Just depends on what your builds look like. Kevin Durant, 9,800. We'll see if he plays on the back-to-back here, going up against San Antonio. Brooklyn right now in the 2 seed. Looking at their remaining schedule, it is pretty good. So they got 3 games. Cleveland, the Bulls, and San Antonio is who they have left. So 3 very winnable games for them to just lock into that 2 seed. But also they can make a push for the 1 seed if Philly just loses out at this point in time, but I don't expect it. Then Brandon Ingram, he's got the Q tag next to him there, but he's doubtful, so don't expect him back. We kind of know the usual characters there. And DeMar DeRozan, 8K in that same Brooklyn matchup. And then all your Utah guys, Joe Ingles, who just ruined everybody's life on FanDuel the other night, 17.75 DraftKings points. And Bojan Bogdanovic, 42.5. He's been awesome. Talk to me about the top end of small forward.
And cue that, Adrian Wojnarowski dropping a Woj bomb on the Slate starter. James Harden, a game-time decision versus the San Antonio Spurs.
I told you. Okay.
So some big stars coming back tomorrow. LeBron James and now potentially James Harden. So, but let's talk about the small forwards. No KD tomorrow potentially. I went all the way to the bottom. It was Joe Harris that stood out to me. $3,700. I think that's a solid price tag. But spending up top, well, let's hear what the limits minute for LeBron James is. $8,900 LeBron James. That's pretty damn cheap for LeBron. $8,900 is cheap, but both the Bogdanoviches are yet again in play. Evan Fournier is priced up way too much for me, $7,200. I'd rather go to the Utah small forwards. Norman Powell was absolutely sensational last time out. Don't mind going back to him. I'd rather spend down to guys like Joe Harris, maybe spending up to a Hachimura just with no Beal. Keldon Johnson, 4,300. He was really strong last time out in 25 minutes, a pure tournament play, in my opinion. I like going to Cabin Galley again, pending some news. They're giving him some more minutes, and he's pretty productive fantasy player. So don't mind that over there on the FanDuel small forward spot. Over there on DraftKings up top, obviously, you're going to have Luka 10-8, 10-2 LeBron, 9-8 KD. All those guys are, if they play, they have obviously their ceilings are definitely there. But LeBron James, I do think will be limited. I think Luka can definitely shine out. It's one of those positions where we gotta potentially go back to him though after being burned by him. But keep in mind with the news, what can break down. It's a back-to-back for them. Bogdanovic, $6,900 of Utah. We know his upside. He's been playing really well. He finally just showing that shooting touch that he has, and it's kind of what Utah needs from him. They missed him last year with the injury in the bubble. So now he's going to be back in this Utah team. Are they going to make some serious noise in the playoffs? We'll see who their 8 seed might be. It could be LeBron James and the Lakers. So go figure with that. Other small forward options. James Johnson is now priced up where I think he's kind of out of play. Honestly, it's Evan Fournier 5,500 still stands out at that price tag. No one really that stood out to me the small forward spot as I do my first glance at things.
Keldon Johnson at 4,300 on FanDuel. I think that's an interesting number to see. We know Derek White's continuing to be out there. There's minutes to be had there for the San Antonio guys. No Derek White. And who was the other guy that they had out that was recently? I don't know. But Keldon Johnson's been starting 4,300, mid-20s minutes, not like gonna blow the doors off by any means, but played really, really well last time out, right around 33, I believe. Let me click on it. Let me find it, 33.4. So I think that that's very doable. And depending on how the news breaks out, we were getting 30-ish minutes of Anthony Lamb here until last game when he only played 11, which was very, very strange, but somebody to take some shots on. Chandler Hutchinson was 3,500. I was taking some shots at 4K when you got Bradley Beal out of there. Chandler Hutchinson at 4K. That was kind of a doable spot, but with Bradley Beal out, yeah, Hutchinson can go out and get some stocks, and he's definitely been aggressive on the offensive end. He looked good against Atlanta, same exact matchup. Maybe take some shots there, but if he's like popular by any means, you can pass. Joe Harris, though, down to 3,700. And now you're possibly going to get Kyrie off. I mean, that is the chalk of the position on FanDuel. What do you think about him? Played 33 minutes in 5 games in a row now. Got 27 today against Chicago. I mean, he's going to be crazy chalk, no?
Yeah. Definitely both of those guys touched on them. Yeah, they're pretty solid options. So
yeah, you had talked about them, but I'm just saying that that's like the chalk of the position.
Yeah, obviously he it's going to come down to the KD situation. For Joe Harris. He's already in play over there on FanDuel, but he's going to be a pretty strong play if there's no Kevin Durant for sure. He's not out of play on DraftKings either, where you get that 3-point bonus. So keep that in mind.
Yep, that sounds great to me. Top end of power forward, Anthony Davis, 10,800. Going to be playing alongside LeBron, or maybe he's going to rest against Houston. I really have no idea what to expect. That's why we're going to be waiting on news, and that's why you also got to be checking in with our guy, the News God, who's just kind of just saving all of our lives right now. I don't know what I would do without him at the moment. I'd probably just cry. I'm a sensitive person. I'd probably just cry. Without News God, but he takes care of me in a very nice way. So play him. Jayson Tatum, 9,500 up against Cleveland. Another great spot for him. He's the guy that is the team at the moment, 53.6 today. He will continue to be super, super important. Christian Wood's down to 8,300, game time decision. Didn't end up playing last time. He sat out the last 4. If I told you could get 32 minutes of Christian Wood, how much would you have at 8,300? My answer would be a lot.
My answer would be not a lot. I'm really worried about if a LeBron AD matchup against the Lakers tomorrow. I don't think they need to play Christian Wood. They know who Christian Wood is. Let him just get healed up and enjoy that off season, and get ready to ball out with Cade Cunningham. So yeah. I think that's what Christian Wood's next game should be. It should be with Cade Cunningham, and not the likes of Armani Brooks and Daquan Jeffries and Kyrie Thomas. And
that's a different looking backcourt for sure. Talk to me about the top end of power forward.
Yeah, top end of power forward, Jayson Tatum yet again. I went there today. I was very content with that performance. Obviously, it was very solid. Put up 53 fantasy points. I like going back to him in a matchup versus Cleveland. No issues there on both sides, honestly. Sub 10K over there on FanDuel. Really like that. Other guys, I don't know what Porzingis' status is. So he's tentatively scheduled to play tomorrow against the Pelicans. So at $7,000, Porzingis, he just wants to make sure his conditioning is good, just to clean everything up and make sure we're on point to be ready for the playoffs. What Porzingis is saying. So he was able to practice on Monday. So I just how well he responds in warmups and everything put together. But if he's a full systems go, 7K Porzingis in a matchup versus the Pelicans, yeah, I I would assume there's some sort of minutes limit, but damn, that's great to hear for the Mavs. But spending all the way down, Davis Bertans, $3,700, solid. Georges Niang, $3,900, continues to get minutes with no Donovan Mitchell. Maxi Kleber played only 14 minutes today as they got their doors blown off by Memphis, but he might end up being the starter with Porzingis returning, so things might change there where he might play some more minutes. So I like that. Nicholas Claxton, 3,500. Brooklyn on a back-to-back. I like going to Claxton, so keep that in mind with what's happening in Brooklyn. Other guys at the power forward spot, KJ Martin Jr. Still continues to get high 30s minutes, still continues to get high 30s fantasy points and then some. It's a Lakers matchup. Keep that in mind, 7,300. I think there's pivots, guys like John Collins, who was really good against his Washington matchup last time out. And I think Jayson Tatum on the same team. But keep that in mind. His minutes were only 31. So there's a lot of moving parts in the power forward spot over there on FanDuel. But hopping over on the DraftKings side of things, talked about Tatum, $9,400. Love it here too. Kelly Olynyk, $7,800. He continues to play. And continues to produce. He's played only 29 minutes last time. It's a Houston team. I think we still got to go to Kelly Olynyk with minimal amount of interest, not too much, just potential. Some guys returning. Christian Wood returns. It won't help him, obviously, but we know what Kelly Olynyk has been doing with this Houston role of late. Davis Bertans, 4K. Really like going to that last time out. Went 5 of 10 from the field. All 5 makes were from 3. So I love getting that 3-point bonus over there on DraftKings. Other guys, Niang, also the same price, $3,900 over here. And honestly, it's not that fun. I mean, I can't. Maybe you want to take some chances on Kevin Love if he were to play in a matchup versus Boston. He could get going potentially, but honestly, that's about it. It really, if he plays, it takes away from guys like Dean Wade and Kevin Gailey on DraftKings, but it's going to come down to his decision. But power forward spot over there in DK is not that exciting whatsoever.
That is an understatement. It is a very, very bad position. It's a 6-gamer. It's late season NBA. I mean, if Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Jayson Tatum, I mean, I think Kelly Olynyk 7,800 would be a lot of fun to be able to lock that in. But now, because he's been so good, I doubt he plays outside of like 31 minutes, 30 minutes. Like, you're not trying to play him 40 minutes anymore. You kind of know what you got for the most part. If you're going to keep him around, what's the point in not giving him an early summer vacation? Let him go out there, chuck a couple threes, do some work in 30 minutes, but at least the numbers come down a little bit where 7,800, I could see playing him over there. Definitely not as the most expensive center, I think, at 8,300 over on FanDuel. Might be difficult for me to get to, but I really have nothing else to add here. Like it's strange seeing like Willie Cauley-Stein and Jackson Hayes at the power forward position over on FanDuel. I really don't have a desire to be playing them at either of those numbers. They can be more punty over on DraftKings. Willie Cauley-Stein put up 26.1 FanDuel points in 15 minutes against Memphis. And Dwight Powell did get ejected with a flagrant 2 today. I don't know if that affects him. I didn't see the play or anything, but doubt he'll get suspended or anything. But otherwise, it's not like you would miss Willie Cauley-Stein. He would be so obvious if you got no Powell tomorrow. You ready to finish this thing out on the top end center?
Yeah, let's do it.
You seem so happy today. You feel it's like me with Luka. I'm just not in a good mood right now. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. I'm just curious on if Steph Curry is going to get to more than 10 fantasy points.
I hate him so much right now. I'm so upset. I have 100%. I played so much late slate, and I have 100%. I played him 100. Derrick Rose, who I had a ton of on DraftKings until all the late news, and he's just going off. I just want to cry. I'm not going to cry. That's the second time I've almost cried on this show. Anthony Davis, 10,400. I've almost cried a lot more than that. Going to Christian Wood, 8,700. As I said, he is questionable. He was questionable last game, didn't end up playing. 8,700 on DraftKings, going to be tough to get to. Capella, 8,600 up against Washington. Played 35 minutes, put up 48. Him and Collins actually had some good synergy, actually, for maybe the first time I've seen in a lot of games. But that's the Washington effect. I think everybody looks pretty good and looking like they have synergy against Washington. And Rudy Gobert, 8,400. Talk to me about the top end of center.
Yeah, so top end is center. You said Rudy Gobert in a matchup versus Portland. I like going to Gobert. He was very, very disappointing against Golden State. I was very upset by that performance. His price has fallen to 7,600. Capella against this Washington team was great yet again. Him and Collins both were very solid. So don't mind that going to those guys. I mean, Kelly Olynyk, saving off of those guys from Kelly Olynyk makes a lot of sense to me. Jared Allen was disappointing, only in 32 minutes. Like I said, he's not been the same since that concussion. So no clue when he's going to get right. Maybe it's next season when they have to draft potentially Evan Mobley or what's the guy out in the G League, Jalen Green, or they're the other guy who won the G League. I forgot his. Who's really
I don't
strong.
know, but Steph Curry made it 3, so now we can celebrate in the streets and drink merry and be happy. Continue.
And yeah, that's honestly about it. Tristan Thompson, if there's no Robert Williams, but it is an ugly spot. If no Adams yet again against Dallas, maybe Hernan Gomez at $5,800. But man, it sucks. Center position honestly sucks. No studs, obviously. Short slate over there on DraftKings. If Robert Williams plays, he's solid. Maxi Kleber down to 3,200. Nick Clarkson is the min. Those guys stand out as spend down options to spend up. Gobert, still like him, 8,400. Capella, 8,600. The lack of centers on the slate make them all in play. Andre Drummond, 6K. I don't know what that role is going to look like. It has not looked good for him in LA. So keep that in mind. But honestly, do you think we can go to Daniel Gafford? No, we can't trust Scott Brooks. So, man, center position and power forward position, blank blow, man. They really blow.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. I mean, I'm looking at like Dwight Powell. If we get him again, he ended up getting ejected. I think basically the entire Dallas team got ejected from Memphis. 133-104. Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. So if you got mid-20s minutes, high 20s minutes of him at 4,400, there's an upside. He's proven that a couple times. But now you're getting Kleber back. You might be getting Porzingis back. It's kind of a gross spot to try to go there. And as you said, Washington, can't really trust Gafford, can't really trust Scott Brooks. I don't trust him as far as I can throw him, which is not very far. Jackson Hayes, 4,900 on DraftKings. That number started to crawl up. You're only going to get 24 minutes, and you can't expect a whole lot more than what he's done the last 4 games. I mean, he had 240 spots in it, but they were buoyed by, 7 stocks and 4 stocks in those games. He didn't have any stocks. He went 3 for 3 from 3, put up 13 real points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, which sounds nifty, but he's 4,900 now. That would not be very good. Only 19 fantasy points. So I really hate the center position too, but that's why it might just be very, very chalky Rudy Gobert and moving on with your life. How does that sound?
I feel that it's that's how it's going to be, but it's going to be a spot where you can pick and choose some spots and maybe get a little too cute with roster construction. It's the last week of NBA season, so a lot of things can break.
Well, let's get weird. My guy Ryan, are you taking a nap? Are you just taking a nap? What's wrong?
No, I was just
Steph
my head
Curry.
was on tilt.
You're on tilt. I'm on massive tilt too. You honestly, this is great to see. The world can see your emotions going through it. I'm going through the 7 stages of grief with you. I just happen to be happy all the time, and then once in a while cry. But that's how I roll. Rayen Patnaik, any final words for the people?
No, it's the final week. It's been quite the ride, and we're going to be finishing on some sort of roller coaster slates. But thanks yet again for all of you guys tuning in. Please do leave us a review as the season 1 of the Slate Starter is winding down. But good luck, everybody.
Does that mean we're going to have a season 2? I did never brought that up. Maybe an NFL season Slate Starter. We'll see what the world has in store. We have no idea. I don't want to make promises that I don't want to write checks that I can't cash, but everybody knows that yours would not bounce. So you'll be writing the check. I will just simply be here. He's Ryan. I'm Eric. Can't wait to see you guys again tomorrow for the second to last Slate Starter of the year. Best of luck, guys. And gals.